You're listening to the Industrial Talk Podcast Network.
All right, greetings. This is Scott McKenzie with Industrial Talk Podcast. So glad once again that you are here with me today. We're talking about building an industrial leader, and I really appreciate you spending time with me so that we can have this conversation and chit-chat and I don't know, become better industry professionals because we're industry leaders. So with that said, I know that your time is very precious, so let's get this show on the road. All right, once again, thank you very much for joining the Industrial Talk Podcast. This is the Industrial Dojo. We talk a lot about leadership right now. We're building an industrial leader, and we've gone through a number of points that let me just sort of quickly touch upon. Once again, as a leader, you're responsible, right? You're responsible for your people, whatever, family, whatever it might be. There's that component inside of you that you have to be a leader. And so we're going to start breaking that down again. We're building an industrial leader. So once again, we start off with correct thinking. Stop being fearful, right? Fear will lead to death. So stop doing that. That's once again, correct thinking. 2, positive outlook. Positive about the people. Positive about the work. Positive about where you're at. And if you're finding yourself sort of hanging out with people that are not positive, I guarantee you they'll pull you down and they'll start changing, your thinking on where you're at and what you're doing. And I want to make sure that there's nothing wrong with trying to change up your friends that are and looking for people who are positive. And then, of course, we talked about purpose, and I think everything stems from purpose because I shared with you sort of that inside information about who I was and where I was at when I was running that company, and I just felt empty. So once again, I'm gonna just sort of share with you. Think of those heroes. Think of those individuals through purpose have changed the world. And of course, I spoke about Mother Teresa. Do the things not because of who they are or what they do in return, but because of who you are. Be that person of purpose. Once again, go out to Jim Witt. That's JIMWHITT. I'll look for his book. It's right behind me if you're looking at the video. Yes, Transformation, Power of Purpose. It's a great book. I went through it. It helps me out. And once again, I do not, and I repeat, I do not start a company, start a business, start an endeavor without a clear understanding of purpose, right? So those are the things that we've covered so far. Now we're going to venture into the well-being of people. That's a genuine interest in the well-being of people. As a leader, you've really got to like helping people achieve their goals. It is also about service. It's also about sacrifice. It is about you doing whatever it is necessary to help that individual out in some way, shape, or form. Your team. It is about giving until you can't give anymore, right? We have a genuine interest in the well-being of people. So let me share with you a little bit of my background. Okay, so I started out as a journeyman lineman. I was up with people, did some performing there, and then, of course, I became a journeyman lineman, and I was working and climbing towers and did that for a number of years. And then I just went to school at night, and then I continued to push, undergrad, MBA. One of the challenges, as I alluded to yesterday in the other podcast, I tend to be very impatient, right? I'm not the best when it comes to that. That's sort of my kryptonite. I am always wound tight. I don't like excuses. And so that leads, personally, me to treat people very, unfortunately, curt and direct. And I don't do well when I feel like I'm wasting time. But I realized, and I know that that's not everybody. That's just me. That's my neurotic behavior associated with time management, getting things done. And I know that inside of me, I always have that inside, that anxiety to keep moving forward, to do more, to help as many people as I possibly can. But the problem is, and I want you to recognize this, if you have those tendencies, that you'll step on some people on the way through. And if it wasn't for purpose, if it wasn't for that desire to try to truly help people in as much as I possibly can, I would just be a bulldozer. And that's just me. I drive fast. You can keep up if you want, but unfortunately, I don't do a good job at treating people sometimes with the respect and dignity that they deserve. So I'm very, very aware of that. And I want to help as many people as I possibly can. So in my head and in your head, I challenge you to think that pyramid, right? Today we look at the pyramid, and at the top, that's where the leader is. That's where the person is that has all of the knowledge, and, they can, thumbs up, thumbs down on decisions. But I'm going to challenge you to think differently. As you climb this, quote, leadership ladder, as you become promoted, more of an influencer within the organization, within whatever it might be, I challenge you to think differently. And I challenge you to turn that pyramid upside down. As you continue to climb that ladder, recognize you're responsible for service, right? You serve. You want people to be successful. You want them to achieve their dreams, because as a leader, you definitely want to achieve whatever your goals and expectations are from a corporate level, from a personal level, whatever it might be. Part of that is treating people and being genuinely interested in the well-being of that individual. So we're going to make this one quick. We're going to summarize. I want you to think about turning that pyramid upside down. And as you continue to climb that corporate ladder, it's all about service. It's all about dedication to that individual. It's all about that individual, whoever it might be, achieving their goals and dreams, and what that looks like. So I challenge you today, do that. And so once again, we're building industry leaders. We've got right thinking, correct thinking. We're not fearful. We've got a positive outlook, because why not? Because you could be negative, you could be positive outlook. We've got a rock solid purpose. We've got things that it's like we're here to help people. And you know what? I challenge you to genuinely care and have interest about people, okay? Their well-being. So you've chosen the avenue of being a leader. This is what it's all about. We sacrifice. Turn that pyramid upside down. Once again, thank you. Challenge. Do it. See you tomorrow. And we're going to talk more about, resistance to criticism. Because we got to have thick skin. Because once you decide that you want to be a leader, slings and arrows and all that stuff come after you, and you got to have some thick skin. So once again, thank you very much. Be safe. And I'm so glad that you are here in the Industrial Talk Podcast, and I will talk to you tomorrow.